G'day folks, it's Jimmy here from the Hard Rock Show. I just wanted to make a little video today because there's something going on in the music industry that I'm a bit annoyed with, and I thought I would just raise it as a discussion point perhaps for the general public, because maybe the general public doesn't know this is going on. I'll give you an example of something that happened recently that I became aware of. There was a international band that came out to Australia, and the promoters involved decided to have local bands as support for this international band, which is great, and it should happen more often. And I was sure there was a law in place that said that international bands, when they played in this country, had to have local supports. I don't know. I'm sure I heard that somewhere, I don't know where, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm dreaming it, but I thought there was. Anyway, it's a good thing, right, to have local bands supporting the international bands. But there's a problem with it. The support bands, the local support bands, are given tickets that they have to sell for the show. And all of the money that they sell the tickets for goes back to the promoter, right? So the band doesn't keep the money from the ticket sales. It all 100% goes back to the promoter. Now the bands have a choice. They can either sell the tickets at cost price, the same as what they might be on, OzTix, if it's being advertised on OzTix, or Ticketek or Ticketmaster or whatever. Depends what level the band is that's coming out, where the tickets are sold. So the bands can sell them at cost price, same price as what's online, or they could sell those tickets at an inflated price. So let's say, as an example, the tickets online are $70, and the band that's got the support has a choice to either sell them at $70, or they could sell them at, say, $80. And if they sell them at $80, the $10 difference between the online sale price and the price that the bands sell them for, that $10 in this instance, goes to the band, direct to the band. They keep that, right? Now, what happened in this instance was there were two support bands. One support band decided to sell the tickets at cost price, at the same price as the online, which made the other band feel that they couldn't sell them at a higher price because that would be unfair, obviously, right? So they had to sell them at they felt like they had to sell them at the cost price as well. So thinking about that, those bands are out there online and in many cases in their cars driving around delivering tickets and spruiking and doing all that sort of stuff. And 100% of the work they do and all the money that they collect from selling the tickets goes back to the promoter, right? So in other words, from my way of thinking, the promoters are booking bands to come out here who clearly cannot sell tickets on the back of their own name. Okay, they're not strong enough. They don't have enough support. But for some reason, promoters are still bringing them out here and using the support bands as the ones to get the crowds to the show. Okay, I think that's really wrong. I think that's a really wrong way of going about things. Anyway, so that's what happened, right? Then, following the gig, so the gig goes, the support band plays, it's all good, everyone has a great night, and it's successful, and blah, blah, blah. Following the gig, this particular band had to invoice the promoter 4 times over a 5-month period before the promoter would pay them for the gig. And their total pay for the gig, just for playing the gig, their total pay, $100. $100. After all that work they've done, selling tickets on the promoter's behalf, pushing to try to get people to the gig. There's my dog, Bianca, she snores. They got paid $100. Now, yes, the band had an opportunity to play in front of heaps of people that they may not have had a chance to play to if they were just doing their own gig. They also get to sell merch and probably keep 100% of their merch. But, and that's great, they may have made some good money, but 5 months and 4 requests for payment of $100 from a promoter who's kept all the money that you've made selling the tickets on their behalf, probably putting it in a bank account, earning a little bit of interest on it and whatever, and you get paid $100 after all that. That is a disgrace, right? That is bullshit, in my opinion. Now, bands say to me, that's how it is. It's never going to change. That's the way it is. Don't make a big deal out of it. Well, I think that's crap, right? Because the general public, the people watching this video out there, I would say that most of them don't know that this crap goes on. And they might be shocked to learn it, that these bands are working their asses off, selling tickets. You could almost say, for want of a better term, you could almost say they're slutting themselves out, right? And to get paid $100 for all that work is absolutely ridiculous. Not just that, but the fact that the bands have to invoice some of these promoters over a 5-month period just to get $100 out of them, that is a joke. So yeah, the general public, I don't think, knows that this goes on. So how can this change? All you bands out there that tell me you can't change it, there's nothing you can do about it, it's not going to change if no one talks about it, right? And I understand that bands don't want to talk about it because they don't want to lose an opportunity for another support slot. I get it, right? That's why I'm willing to sit here and whinge about it. I'll do it on your behalf. I don't care. Because some of these promoters out there are absolutely shocking. Not all of them. There are some really good promoters out there, some great people. But this particular incident is not the first time this has happened, and it won't be the last time this has happened. So, you know, there's another thing about it is that the figures, music industry figures of sales and all that sort of stuff show that the artists, the actual people that create the music, only receive around 12% of all revenue in the music industry. So the people that actually create the music that runs the industry get about 12% of the revenue. So who's making all the money? If every musician stopped tomorrow and got rid of all their instruments, there would be no music, right? And they're only getting paid 12% of the total revenue. Something not right there. Definitely something not right. It's really ordinary. So yeah, this stuff goes on where bands are pushed to sell tickets to cover costs and expenses for headline bands that cannot pull the crowd off their own name because they're not big enough and they're not popular enough. So promoters are using support bands to do their dirty work for them and then pay them $100. And in this instance, you got to invoice them 4 times over a 5-month period just to get your money. Come on, that's crap. Surely we can do a lot better. I think it's time to have a discussion about this and how things can improve. Because what's the point? $100. Yeah, you're getting up on stage playing to a heap of people that you might not play to, and that's awesome, and you sell your merch and all that, but it doesn't matter. Those bands are working their asses off to sell these tickets for what? For virtually nothing. It's not good enough. The promoters out there need to lift your bloody game and start treating the local bands with respect. Not treating them like pieces of dirt on the ground. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about that. I hope that, you know, some people understand what's going on out there and want to try and change it. I don't know how we change it. Maybe we need a meeting of a heap of promoters or something. Like I say, there's some great promoters out there. There's some beautiful people out there. But there are some absolute dead set fucking sharks out there. Tell me what you think. It's an interesting topic, I reckon. Anyway, have a good day.